Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my March update of my Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan. I am really excited with the progress that we have made this month. Last month I had hit pan on an eyeshadow. This month I did not hit pan, but I am really happy with all of my numbers, and I'm also really happy with how some of these eyeshadows are looking. And honestly, I think I can hit pan on one of them next month. So really happy with the progress there and really looking forward to continuing to see the momentum build in this project, because I think it's really going to. And if you're not familiar with this project, I figure we can start there and I can get you up to speed. So basically how this project works is I have a spreadsheet of all of my eyeshadows in my collection, and I kind of have it separated out with those that I've hit pan on and those that I haven't hit pan on. And what I do at the beginning of the year is randomly select 5 eyeshadows from my collection to work on. And my goal is to work on those 5 eyeshadows until I hit pan on them. It is the rolling style project pan, so if I hit pan on one eyeshadow, I can roll it out and randomly select a new eyeshadow to roll in its place. And I also give myself a little bit of an out, because there are those situations where you're just not gonna hit pan on something, or I might not be loving an eyeshadow. And so after I use it 20 times, which I feel is a still good amount of usage to get on an eyeshadow, once I hit that usage threshold, I can decide at any point to roll an eyeshadow out. I try not to do that. It is not ideal in my mind, but I have had to do it on occasion throughout the years that I've been doing this project, and that's okay. That's why it's there. So that is how this project works. I think it is so fun to do this project. It definitely pushes me out of my comfort zone, especially because I'm not into eyeshadows like I used to be. Like the look that I'm wearing today is a lot, and I don't typically wear looks like this, but I am, you know, experimenting, trying to wear as many of these as I possibly can, especially for like a filming day for all of you. But to work, I kind of find like the more neutral mixes of these eyeshadows to make work, which I think is totally fine too. It is interesting because I'm not as into eyeshadows as I used to be, but I still love this project and I still think it's so fun to do. Honestly, I've just adjusted and made this project fit into how I wear my makeup now. There are days when I'm doing a little bit extra like today, and there are days where I'm just putting a crease shade in my crease and calling it a day. So that is how this project works. Now let's go ahead and talk about my numbers, which I have on that spreadsheet that I mentioned. Now they haven't changed from last month, but I still like to go through them every month. So as of March 2025, I have 238 eyeshadows in my collection. 12 of those are single shadows, 226 of those are across 13 different palettes. I have 37 pans in my collection, meaning I've hit pan on 37 different eyeshadows, which brings me to a pan percentage of 15.54%, which that 15.54% is important because my goal for like the last several years was to hit 15%. And now I think my goal is to get my pan percentage up to 20%. Now I haven't talked about this. I think I briefly mentioned maybe I want to set a new goal, maybe 20% might be nice. But at the end of the day, like, let's just go for it. Honestly, like 25% would be like the ultimate goal, but I think I'm kind of getting there 5% at a time. So we're gonna go with the 20% goal to hit next. I am 0.5% already on my way there, so only 4.5% left to go. I don't actually know how many pans of eyeshadow that is that I need to hit, and that's only if my collection stays the same. So keep in mind, if I declutter eyeshadows without pan, that helps me. Sometimes I've decluttered eyeshadows with pan, which doesn't really help me that much. Or if I bring in new eyeshadows to my collection, obviously that lowers my pan percentage. I kind of think of all of those as additional factors into this project, but if we were just to keep everything the same, I'm not actually sure how many more that I would need to hit, but potentially something that could happen this year if we continue to make some good progress on the eyeshadows in this project. But also I have other eyeshadows throughout my collection that I've gotten close but haven't quite hit pan, and I think I'd also like to focus there occasionally too. Like I did that last year and I hit pan on 2 eyeshadows that weren't in my Pan Those Eyeshadows, but I was very, very close on them, and so I just kind of worked on them on the side. So that's something else that I like to think about, as well as we are just thinking about pan percentage in general. But without further ado, let's actually go ahead and talk about the eyeshadows that are in this project. I only have 3 palettes because 2 of these each have 2 eyeshadows represented. So I'm gonna pull up my notebook, which I track all my usage in here. And like I said, I'm actually quite happy with the usage that I got on these shadows. 3 of them I actually hit 10 uses on each, which I'm really pleased about. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 1 palette. And I have 2 eyeshadows that are represented in this palette. The first one is this one right here called Butter. It is a crease shade. I think it's such a pretty crease shade. I'm really happy that I have it in this project. And we're definitely starting to see some usage on this one. No dip really, but you start to see the shadow look a little worn and you know, okay, like that one, we're gonna start seeing a dip in that one soon. And I hit 10 uses on this one. And it was quite easy to hit 10 uses on this crease shade. I do have 2 crease shades in this project. And I think if I just had one and I put all the time that I'm using that crease shade into that one shadow, I'd probably hit pan a little faster. But I'm trying to go back and forth and not just focus on one. And maybe when we get a little bit closer and one maybe is a little bit closer to pan, I would just focus in on that one. But right now I feel like they're both kind of in a similar state, in which case I'm like, well, let's just use them both. And then the other shade is this shimmer right here, which I rolled in last month. This is called Obsessed. And honestly, I feel like I'm close on that one. Now, maybe I'm not as close as I think I am, but I really think that I could potentially hit pan next month on that one. And I love that shade. I just think it's so pretty. I like wearing it alone, but I've also been wearing it a lot like I am today over another shade in this project, because that shade's really bright. And so the shimmer actually like mellows it out, makes it look more of a pink instead of an orange. But I've just been, you know, putting this one all over the lid, and I have a pretty good dip going in it. I had a pretty good dip going in this shade before I rolled it into this project, and I got another 10 uses on this one this month. And like I said, I think if I just keep working on it, I can hit pan sooner rather than later. I don't know. I was saying next month. We'll see. Maybe maybe I'm just being a little too optimistic on that one, but I think it's possible, especially if I keep using it as much as I have been, potentially even more, right? Like trying to wear it every time I'm wearing eyeshadow. It's possible. All right, next, starting off right here with Comfort Zone. This is another really pretty crease shade. I think I like Butter a little bit better, but I also just like the tone of Comfort Zone. So I honestly, I really enjoy both of them, and they've been really easy to use. I think I have a little bit more progress in Butter than I do in Comfort Zone, but I got 10 uses on this one as well. And yeah, I'm excited to continue making progress on that. And then the shade that, you know, has been tough for me is this one right here called My Man. I got 4 uses on it though, which to be honest, I'm really happy about, because I thought it was gonna be like 1 to 2 uses every month. So the fact that I hit 4, I'm really pleased about. And thank goodness that I rolled that Obsessed shade in, because that really just gave me a way to wear this, where I just put it on my lid and then put Obsessed over it. Although I can wear it as a liner too, which I know some of you had mentioned that's an option, and I have worn it as a liner, and I do like it like that as well, because it's a little bit more subtle, but we've been finding ways to make it work. I am though happy with the 4 uses on that. I think that's really good, and I'm happy obviously with the 10 uses on Comfort Zone too. So definitely making progress here. I think the 2 shadows in this palette definitely have more usage when you look at them, but the fact that we're hitting some good numbers across the board, I'm very pleased with. And I'll swatch My Man too, so you all can see what I'm talking about when I say it is bright. That is a neon shade. And then the last shadow that I'm going to talk about today comes from my Empowered palette by Huda. And it is this shade right here called Legacy. And I used this one 5 times this month. This is another really hard packed matte shade. I worked on Get It in last year's project pan, and it's tough to like see any sort of progress on these. But I used Legacy 5 times this month, and I wore it every time as just in my outer corner. So I would just grab a brush, do a little bit in my outer corner, pretty precise, and then I would blend it out. And I just love how it added depth to my eyeshadow looks. Another way to wear it obviously is to wear it as liner. That's a super easy way too, and I have worn it as liner since it's been in this project, but I just love packing this in my outer corner and then blending it out and just getting a little bit more depth to my eyeshadow looks. I think it is so pretty. So really happy with being able to get 5 uses on this one and be able to wear it in that way. But yeah, this is it. These are the 5 shades that I'm still working with. So while we didn't hit pan this month on any of them, I'm feeling optimistic about, obviously, Obsessed, but really in general, I'm feeling optimistic about all of the shades that are in this project. I feel like we're making good progress. I'm seeing decent numbers, and I'm definitely putting the effort in. I want to continue really working on Butter and Comfort Zone and start seeing some dips in those crease shades, because I think those are the ones that I'm probably going to be able to hit pan first before my Man and Legacy. But obviously going to keep working on my shimmer and all of them, and really excited. I hope all of you enjoyed this video, getting to see this update, getting to see the progress clips. It's my absolute favorite, getting to see like from one month to the next how much progress we're able to make in these eyeshadows. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.